Welcome, everybody. I can get the preamble out of the way because you guys are here for the NationBuilder Partner Power Hour series. Today is volume one. This is something that we're going to be running across consecutive Thursdays. We currently have 3 volumes to kick off the year. And we are excited to share some really exciting partner solutions. Some of which have been around for a good old while. But we know a lot of people might not be familiar with, some of which are much newer. And yeah, the idea is that we can hopefully give you some inspiration for how you can be supercharging your nation's activity this year. And yeah, and really get going. So host for today, myself. I am business development director based in London, and I have the privilege of being able to work with all of our fantastic partners on the daily, so to speak. And I will quickly let Brian introduce himself.
Hey everyone, my name's Brian Palmer. I work on the business development team with Oli, and I'm based in Detroit, Michigan. I'm our partner integrations manager, so I also work very closely with all of our integrated partners and anyone kind of even building custom applications or integrations.
Today we have these 6 fine solutions that we're going to be looking at. Rather than listing through them and then hearing it again, I'm just going to pass straight on, and we're going to get straight into it. And we're going to be kicking off with prompt IO. So I will leave the stage and let Fars take the mic.
Thank you very much for that introduction. Let me go ahead and get my screen share going. Perfect, perfect. First and foremost, thank you to NationBuilder for organizing this. Thank you to the attendees for attending this. A little bit about what we're going to talk through here. First off, I'm Fars. I'm president here at prompt.io. We are a texting platform. We refer to ourselves as the winning and influence engine. Some things I'm going to be going through during my time presenting today is going to be what our product offering is, what makes our system unique across the vast universe of texting platforms, how we work with and interface with NationBuilder, and this will be interactive. So if you have your phone handy, that'll be great. So what is prompt.io? So we are a texting platform. That's the overall product itself. We're a peer-to-peer texting platform, meaning you can load up a list within our system, use merge fields, target, retarget, and engage folks. So the way you would engage them with your email list, for example, you can also do that via text messaging. We work with, generally speaking, political campaigns, associations, nonprofits, unions, and advocacy groups. Here is a screenshot of our text broadcast wizard. So here you can see a very straightforward 7-step process around audience selection, which we will get into later on in the presentation as it relates to NationBuilder, and the merge fields that you can insert here to customize your text message to whoever your audience is. In addition to that, one thing that we brag about a lot has to do with the fact that we have this request assistance option that you can see in the bottom left corner, persist across all parts of the product to make sure that you never have to break your workflow, and you can always reach out to somebody at Prompt to help out. Here is a sample broadcast view that shows who's being messaged, how many messages are going out, what's in process, what's being engaged with, what's being replied to, so on and so forth. The other part of the product that stands separate from Prompt but speaks directly into the texting platform has to do with our new feature that we released recently called Pulse. So we refer to this as a command center, kind of a 360 overview of your usage of the texting platform. So here the screenshot is from the KPI view showing a top-level overview of an organization that has multiple instances of Prompt that are all texting out. In this view, you can see billing, for example. So the idea being that if you are an organization that has other instances of Prompt, you would want to have access to things like how many messages are going out, what kind of error rates are they receiving, what kind of responses are coming in, so on and so forth. It's ideal for unions, digital agencies, or consultants who have multiple clients and chapter-based organizations. So the other thing that makes Prompt unique within the ecosystem of all the different texting platforms is our instant app functionality. So here is the interactive part of the presentation, where if you wanted to, you could use the number that's listed here on the phone image, or you can take scan the QR code and actually interface with our instant app functionality directly. So what you can do with instant apps is create essentially web forms using our WYSIWYG and then deliver them via text message. If you're actually doing this, you're going to get a fairly long URL. Those can be customized to fit the organizational needs to make sure that the URL itself fits with what the organization is trying to do. In this case, we're looking at a polling app. In this case, this is a polling app, but it is changed to Spanish language, so we can customize language as well. Here we have a ranked choice voting option. If you want to text in RCV or scan the QR code, you can see how that works. This is an RSVP event reminder. Note that these can also feed back into NationBuilder. So if you have an event page set up on NationBuilder, we can also feed back RSVPs to the system. And here's another version of this. Again, if you want to scan the QR code, we can deliver all kinds of content that has already been created in other digital mediums directly to you via text message. This one is for a petition. Again, this feeds back into NationBuilder if you wanted it to. The other unique functionality within the system is that we can actually tie our system directly into ChatGPT. So if you were to, again, text demo or scan that QR code, we would send you a sample record. This could be something that we pull down from NationBuilder, and you can tell the system whether the information we have on record for you is correct or not. And once we determine that it is, we'll send you a confirmation that we know it is, and then we will create, for example, a membership card. This was a union use case, but it can apply to any number of use cases. And then the other one is text out to tweet, to X, what have you. You could send out a URL that once the recipient clicks on, we will automatically populate a message that you define onto Twitter/X. So the NationBuilder component of this, we are integrated directly with NationBuilder. We do use OAuth 2.0 protocols for generating access tokens to make sure it is as secure as possible. We also have the ability to customize the integration based on the type of data that you want to send between the systems. As you can see here, there's a checkbox at the bottom half of the screen. We can sync over things like communication history, opt-in, opt-out history, tags, lists, etc. And as I mentioned before, with things like petitions and event RSVPs, if there's a custom version of an integration you want, the integration already kind of exists, and so we could just add on additional requests that we can make to the API of NationBuilder. Here's the list view. So in this case, we're pulling down every list that is within this instance of NationBuilder, and then syncing that into our system. And then as communications are being made or tags are being added or removed, we are updating NationBuilder, as you can see here on the contact record. And that is it. I think I'm down to a minute because I have a little timer going here on the left-hand side. And if there's any questions, any thoughts, any concerns, I'm sure that the NationBuilder team is going to have our contact info. My contact info is plastered here, Farz at prompt.io, F-A-R-Z at prompt.io. Feel free to text, obviously, or call or email.
Hey, Farz, just while you have a few seconds left, somebody asked if the system works in Canada because the QR code was coming up as an invalid number there.
It does work in Canada. Yeah, so we have our upstream providers are integrated to the telcos in Canada. But yeah, there is a little bit of a distinction between how well the QR code is going to work when it is being sent out on US carriers versus Canadian carriers. So we can customize that.
Another question from Jane. Does it work in the UK?
It does. The system would work in the UK. The problem is that the upstream providers and the carriers outside of North America charge an exorbitant carrier fee for text message delivery. I've generally found that it is a little bit cost prohibitive outside of North American organizations to use text messaging. For example, I mean, I don't know UK's price right now, but for example, I think Australia, the last time I checked, it was 8 or 9 cents just for the upstream capacity. That does not include, that's the carrier fee, that is, that doesn't even include our product fee, and so it can be a little bit cost prohibitive. But the system, there's nothing that would preclude it from working. It's just a cost thing.
Okay, fantastic. Well, if more questions are coming, feel free to put them in the Q&A tab for Fars. But we're gonna move on in the fast and furious nature of this. And we are gonna move to Matthews, who's gonna tell us a little bit about SoSha.
Hey everyone, great to be here. So SoSha is a organic social amplification tool, which is seems like a lot of jargon and probably won't get you a bingo. But I think all of you probably doing something on social, probably doing something to build your lists, and something to drive donations, whether that's after building the list or just as a standalone thing. Usually they both work together. Um, and SoSha is really there to help and try to get beyond the usual place where you think of social as reach and impressions. Although we can help there too. We just, let's all work together towards that end goal, not just the sugar high of some reach and impressions. So then I'm going to share a couple of quick slides on some of the things we can provide in terms of numbers for list building, and then donation uptick, and then we'll take a quick look at the system, and I'll build a couple of posts for you all so you can just see what it looks like in real life and how easy it is. So the as I said, we're trying to drive these actions and these signups. And if we put our SoSha's embedded pre-made social posts into your petition flow, for every 100 social shares, you usually get 25 new petitions signed because of the application. Some of them we actually see a conversion rate above 50% sometimes. And just to do the math here a little farther, if you have 20,000 signature signers, and this is a nice performing one with 10,000 social shares, and 5,000 visits coming from from those social shares, you get 3,500 new signatures. We picked nice big round numbers to make this easy for the campaign, but you don't have to obviously have as many as 20,000 signatures. I know many of you do not. And I would say we work with many partners who are looking at petition signatures more in the range of 100 or 200 or 400 or 500, as well as huge organizations that are doing 20 and 100,000. So don't let these big numbers turn you off. They're just easier for us to all look at. And of course, and on average, 58% of all the petition conversions are new emails. So if we're trying to list grow, and that's the real point of a petition, which most of the time it is, let's all be honest here, then we're really bringing in a lot of new emails as these new petition signers from SoSha's help there as part of your petition flow. So that's again, reach and impressions are important, but let's actually help you with what your KPIs are, what you're going to be judged on at the end of any campaign or quarter or year or month or any of those fun times. Come off of share. I don't have a really glossy slide for this, but we can share around some of the numbers for donations. On average, when this is applied to a donation flow, a fundraising campaign, we see 10% of the total donation campaigns donations coming through shares that are done through SoSha. So a pretty high number there. And we see conversion rates on those posts at a pretty high 25 to 30%. So, and this is true with small dollar campaigns, both in terms of the donation dollars and the overall campaign size on what you all are doing. So big organizations and small, these numbers really hold true across what we're doing. So let's give you a quick look under the hood and see what this all looks like when you're doing it live and as an organization, being the one in the admin seat. So switching shares. We're gonna hear we do like AI at SoSha. We think it's really important. Actually, let's step back one. Let's actually show you what this looks like in the and then we'll build a post. So I've said that we're gonna do it with petitions and donations. So I've just signed the Oregon Food Bank Food for All Oregonians pledge to support Food for All Oregonians. I need another coffee. And here's an example on the thank you page of a share powered by SoSha. So pre-made share here, pledge to support Food for All Oregonians, and you should too. I can pick my social network. And then very easily share that. And I have a few posts to pick from. This goes into one of my very favorite points about SoSha. Having a number of pre-made posts, and this goes against a lot of what we think about in this world of making things easier on people and keeping it simple. Having more than one post actually increases conversion, increases shares. If I go from this to these three here, we see a 600% increase in sharing by going from 2 to 3 pre-made posts and going from those nice little share buttons that aren't particularly effective to any pre-made posts. We see a 10 to 20x share increase. So really effective in terms of that reach and impressions. But those numbers I shared earlier are what we get in terms of what you're actually looking for: donations, petition signatures, new emails. You, of course, can do this in other places, in your content, or in standalone toolkits, where there are lots of options for your activists to share. With Blue Sky is brand new. I know a lot of us are seeing that, especially in the progressive space. But I'm sure let's build some posts. This gets us to the point of, well, if more posts do better, I have to create those posts. So we're going to generate those with AI in the back end. Human in the loop. You listening to this call are probably said human in the loop. We'll do a little bit about NationBuilder's Power Hour here. And let's, in honor of the daughter who's just pushing in on me there, we're going to pick a picture of a mouse that she sent me and wanted to print the other day. And we're going to say, sign up as our caption. And we're going to pick our piece here. Well, we have a problem with the file I chose. So try a different one here. This is, of course, when you demo, things don't work. And, here we are. We pick our social networks and we're going to generate this post. And here it is doing the work for you, creating those different social posts, engineered for the different networks, both in terms of character count and what's going to perform across those networks. So know we're on time, so I will stop my sharing and any Q&A before we pass it along.
Thank you, Matthews. I know there was a question around which social media platforms are served. One thing that people might be interested in is there are very good ways to integrate this, both in certainly on NationBuilder websites, as Matthews showed, but also in emails and in social share prompts as well, that work in conjunction with recruiter functionality. So that can be really powerful when done at scale. And yeah, do reach out to Matthews if you want to hear and see a bit more in depth, because obviously only so much of a taster we can give in this Power Hour today. I will pass the mic to Ryan, who's going to tell us a bit about NB metrics.
Hey everyone, thanks Oli. So I'm Ryan from Van City Studios. We're a digital agency that works with the people and organizations that make the world a better place. We primarily specialize in web design and digital strategy, and we've been working with NationBuilder for over 10 years now at this point. About a year or so ago, we launched NB Metrics, which is an advanced financial reporting tool for NationBuilder. NB Metrics was born out of a need to view financial data from your nation in a way that makes it more easy to see trends, discover insights, target key fundraising prospects, and make data-driven decisions. NB Metrics is made for really anyone involved in fundraising and that works with NationBuilder, and anyone also who's in charge of reporting to stakeholders, to a board of directors about how you're doing with your fundraising and donations. Cool. So I encourage everyone to go to nbmetrics.com to check it out. You can sign up. We'll come back to that in a moment at nbmetrics.com. But this probably looks familiar for a lot of you folks. This is, the finances tab in our Sandbox Nation with a bunch of demo donation data here. So the goal of NB Metrics is what we do. We take this tabulated data, which is, a little bit challenging to work with sometimes, and we automatically turn it into visually appealing and more intuitive reports like this. So there are 3 reports that come out of the box with NB Metrics. There's a fundraising dashboard, which is what we're looking at here. And I'll just kind of go through the different elements of our fundraising dashboard. So you can see up top here, we have the ability to customize our report. You can look at any period that you want. Right now, I'm looking at all donations from last year, but you can, dial this down to a particular quarter or a particular half year or other years. You can customize your reports to include or exclude donations with certain tracking codes. You can also really narrow down your report to look at transactions that have just a certain value. So if you want to only look at, for example, donations that are under $200 to look at small value donors and how they're contributing to your organization, you can customize your report to do that. And this is up top here. We've got a quick summary statistics and sort of some big numbers to look at. So the total donations for the given period, number of donations, average donation value, number of donors, number of first-time donors, number of returning donors in that period, average number of donations per donor, and the average amount, total amount given per donor in that period. We've also got some comparison metrics that automatically pop up down here. So this is, compared to the previous period. So right now we're looking at all donations from last year. So compared to the year before that, we're up 48% in total in terms of our donations. We've also got a nice little chart here that gives us donations month over month for the given period. So we're looking at all of last year. You can see the dark blue line here is our donations from all of last year. And then the lighter blue line is the comparison metrics for the year before. So it's a quick and easy visual way to see how are we doing in this given period compared to other periods. You can also, let's see here. Down here, you can explore your donors sorted into sort of different buckets in terms of, how much in total they're giving in that total period. So you can see here for this sample demo data set that we've got 122 folks that all of last year gave under $200. We've got 503 folks that gave between 200 and 1,000, and 3 that gave upwards of 1,000 in that period. We can customize these different buckets as well, and if there's different value sets that you look at within your organizations, that's pretty easy customization for us to make. Got a little table here of top donors in the period. So here I am in this demo data set, and gives you the total amount that I've given in that period, the number of times I've donated, and the average donation amounts. And one of the neat things here is that we've set this up that you can seamlessly jump back and forth between your NB Metrics report and your nation. So if I were to click this here, this would take me to this person's profile, my profile in our Sandbox Nation, and you can explore the profile in greater detail there. We also have a summary of donations by tracking codes. So if you're using tracking codes to track particular fundraising campaigns, you can kind of quickly and easily see which ones are more successful. We've got a chart of offline versus online donations. This is based on if there's a page slug associated with a given donation in your nation. You can drill this down to, so right now we've got offline donations and online donations. We can drill this down to see which page slugs are most popular. So which donation pages on your website are performing the best. We've got a geo chart here that gives us different bubbles for the number of donors in a given region. Sorry. So you can see here that, if you're thinking about planning an event or something like that and want to know where your donors are located in the country, you can get this information pretty quickly and easily here. So we can see 6 donors in BC, 7 donors in Washington, 5 donors in Quebec, so on and so forth. So that's the first report, our fundraising dashboard. We also have a donor retention and recapture report, which we find really useful. So basically this looks based on the current year, so in 2025, who gave in 2024 and generates a report. And out of those folks who have already re-given in this year versus those that haven't. So these are our live months. So far they gave last year, but not this year. And just because we've just started the new year, our retention rate right now is 0%. We haven't had any of these donors in our sample data set give again in 2025. But this data gets updated on a daily basis from your nations. So this is in almost real time. It'll give you a report on how you're doing to recapture those donors that donated last year, and you might want to encourage them to give again. And so it gives you a quick and easy way to figure out who your warmest prospects are for donating. And then there's also side months reports. So these are folks that gave some other year. They didn't give last year and not again this year, but these are the folks that you might want to target for recapturing. And again, it gives you sort of a list and a quick and easy way to jump back and forth between this report and their profiles in your nation. And last but not least, we have a year-over-year fundraising heat map. So a quick and easy visual way to see how you're doing this year relative to other years in terms of total donations, number of donations, average donation amount, total donors, and number of first-time donors. So that's NB metrics in a nutshell. Quick summary of what's going on here. As I mentioned, this donation, we pull the donation data from your nation on a daily basis so that this stays up to date, and you can, in almost real time, review all of the donation data from your nation in a really visually engaging way. Hopefully this makes it clear that it allows you to quickly answer questions like, how have you done in the past? How are we doing now? What are our fundraising strengths? Who are our warmest fundraising prospects? And I'll just quickly finish by saying you can sign up at nbmetrics.com. Really simple pricing, $98 a month for our base, everything that you saw in our demo here today. And we can also do custom reports. You can talk to us about, if what we offer out of the box is a little bit different than what your needs are. We can explore creating custom reports. Oh, one last thing, you can also sign up for a 1 month free trial at NB Metrics. When you sign up, there's a spot to plug in a discount code. If you use the code NB Webinar, then you can sign up for a 1 month free trial.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Ryan. I know we had one question come in that we've answered, which is more relation to NationBuilder payments options. And I know this has been super popular. Ryan, do you want to just answer the question about pricing?
Yep. So that pricing is in USD.
Thank you. Next up, we are going to Varun, who is going to talk to us about HandyNation.
Hello, welcome everybody. Thanks NationBuilder for arranging this webinar and giving me a chance to represent HandyNation with you. So ultimately what HandyNation is, it's converting your NationBuilder power into the mobile phones. So it makes easier for you to manage data on your NationBuilder through your mobile app. So what is it and how does it what does it do for you when you are on field? So whatever control panel features NationBuilder has, we have tried to combine those features into the mobile application so that it is not just converting your NationBuilder control panel into the mobile app, but it also equipped with powerful field tools which can help you to increase your efficiency and accuracy during your field operations. So what kind of features does this mobile application has? So it has a combined features of CRM, canvassing, monitoring and analytics, event management, then donation. You can manage your team on the field. It has a multiple languages available for your mobile application and many more features. So without wasting further time, I would like to show you that how does it look. So this is basically control panel on our website where you are able, once you sign up on our website, you are able to see a control panel like this where you can manage your team. And when you manage your team, you also get control over the permissions. What permissions would you like to provide to your specific team member? You can identify those permissions here. So here it has a permissions and it has a canvassing list where you can create a canvassing list for your people on the field. So this is pretty much about canvassing. Then go to event. It is about creating the events. So event is already available in the mobile application, but you have to enable the QR based event. Then you have to select those events here. So whenever you have event organized, they all the RSVP people will get a unique QR code on the email ID, which you can quickly scan and check them in on the venue. So, okay, so this is how you can manage your team. Just add them here. You will have a set of permissions. What access would you like to provide them into mobile application? You can disable a specific section or a specific portion of a whole section. So this is pretty much about the control panel. Now let's move to the actual application. How does it work? So when you open the mobile application, you will see a list of people similarly like what you see in the NationBuilder control panel. You can filter your people based on a lot of filter options like tags. You can select a specific tag, SAGs, if he is volunteer or not, if they have do not contact enabled, email opt-in, if this is party member, marital status, what party he is in, what is in fourth party, what priority level, right? And as well as you can search based on that keyword, right? So this is how the advanced filter works. You can also get a NationBuilder list into your device. You can also have a list of tags. You can play with tags, like you can search tags in the list. You can see a list of people into that NationBuilder list. You will have an option to edit that list, delete, or email this CSV to your team member, and you can add this list into the canvassing as well. The same way you can create a proximity list this way, where you can list out the people surrounded by you with 47 miles. You can have additional filters like tag, then select a support level, is volunteer, party, and based on that you can create a proximity list in just a couple of seconds. Now let's move to another part. Here you can also perform the canvassing, and when you start canvassing, you can have a your talking list here. And in canvassing, you will have a for option of view. This is a simple list view, which is sorted in as per distance. This is a street view. This is a call view for your call campaign. And this is a map view, which will help you to utilize mapping functionality to make field work very efficient. Moving to next, which is events, where you'll get a list of all your upcoming events, and you are able to add a new RSVP user from on the field. If user is not exist, you can add a new user. You will have a list of RSVP user. If you want to check him in, you can do it very quickly. You can see the past events. Now let's see donors. You are able to have a list of donors. You can search based on tracking codes. You can also change the language of your mobile application. Okay. And the last thing, you can perform various actions on your profile. Here is a whole NationBuilder profile is combined into this small window where you can quickly edit the things very easily. If I want to change a point person for this person, I can quickly do it this way. I do not have to edit everything from there. If I want to add a new tag, then I can add the tag very quickly this way. If I want to log a contact, I can do it from here. I can log donations, submit survey, RSVP, all actions I can do from here. I can do edit political stuff. I can also see activities in the same way what we have in the NationBuilder, and we can have a filters like this. If I want to see just a donation activity, if I want to see the only survey responses of a user profile, this way I can do. Here it will have a list of all the paths this user is onboarded to. So this is pretty much about mobile application. And right now, while we are having this webinar, we are offering a special 25% discount for customers who onboard on HandyNation applications. And this discount will continue for 1 week. So yeah, I'm available for answering your questions.
Thank you, Varun. And we will absolutely send the details of that promotion out in the email following. I just have one question. We saw for a second, but the different languages that you offer, I think I saw German, French, Spanish. Is that all of them, or are there more?
There are 2 fixed languages. It's French and Spanish. English is by default, and the 4th language is a custom language where you can have your own set of text. So I do not have to provide unlimited languages.
Right. I did not know that. That's super interesting and definitely very powerful. Thank you very much.
Yep, welcome.
We are on to our final presenter, who is going to wrap 2 presentations, 2 solutions into one. So over to Alex.
Okay, great. Thanks for putting this on and hosting this, and thanks everyone for joining. My name's Alex. I have been a NationBuilder developer and architect and consultant for close to a decade now. And these couple of tools that I'm going to show you kind of came out of all of the consulting work I do and solving problems that came up for clients over and over again, and trying to fill some gaps and make things a little smoother and easier for everyone to manage. So I'm going to start with Deduplicator. As the name implies, what this does is find and merge duplicates in your nation. NationBuilder has a built-in potential duplicates tool where you can see your duplicates and go through them. But what tends to happen is people don't do it for a while, and then you have thousands of them, and it just becomes overwhelming to deal with because it's a one-by-one manual review and merge process. So that's where Deduplicator comes in. What it can do is, and I'm just going to kind of walk through the app and show you. I don't have a slideshow for you. We're just going to look at it together. So what you can do is you log in, you go to deduplicator.cc, and we'll be sharing links and everything afterwards as well. You can either select a list if you want to just deduplicate a specific list, or you can do your entire nation. So I'll, for this demo, do the entire nation. There's a couple of different options that are described here, and you can always reach out if you have questions about specific how things work in more specifically, but I'll breeze over it for now. The one really important and new feature that I've just added in the last month or so is you can opt into having this automatically run for you every month, so that you don't have to log in to do it. It will just run this analysis on your nation every month and see what duplicates come out. So you fill all that out, and it starts the process. I'm going to fast forward through time here and go to one that's done. Once it's done running that process, you get an email, so you don't have to sit there and wait and watch it. Sometimes it takes many hours to run, depending on how many records you're dealing with. And you get something like this. So for free, no charge, no credit card, nothing like that, you get this top section here. So you basically get a summary of what was found, tell you how many duplicates, and kind of put them into buckets of what criteria they matched on and how many were found. At the bottom, it'll show you the price. The pricing is very simple. It's 25 cents per duplicate. That's Canadian dollars. So you're welcome to the American and everyone who has better dollars than us. It's a built-in discount for you. So you get the total matches found, again, the buckets of what's found, and you can decide then whether it's worth paying for or not. Then you put in you pay, and then you get this, which is the actual details of all of the duplicates. So here you see each individual record that's found. You could filter it by different confidence levels based on how it was matched. You can swap the matches. So if you want this record to merge into that record, you can swap them. You can discard matches that, oh, great, something broke. You can discard them. I'll make sure that's working right after this call. And you can also merge them one by one if you want to. So where that comes in is specifically with the low status, like low confidence matches. So these ones generally, like this one matched. So this is like a fuzzy match name. So the names are similar, but not exactly the same. And the phone number match. So that's kind of a lower confidence. So for those ones, it's often nice to go through and review them manually and merge them manually. But for the high confidence ones, usually it's because they're matching on multiple things. So this is the same name, address, and so this is the same address and the same phone number. So that's like pretty sure that's the same person. So for those kinds of things, you can go through your lows, review them, discard the ones you don't want, merge the ones you do want. And then once you're done and all the remaining matches are high or medium or whatever, you can do merge all duplicates, and that will go through it. That will automatically merge all of the remaining available duplicates without having to go through and click each one. So you get a preview CSV of basically this data in a CSV format. So if you want to take it out of here and put it in Excel and run formulas on it or whatever, you can do that. You can also, once you're done merging, you will also get a CSV of the merge results. So there are some situations where a merge can't happen. For example, if two users have different permission sets, they just can't. The system just doesn't allow them to be merged together. So you'll get a CSV of those results with success or errors, and you can manually deal with those errors. That's a real quick rundown of Deduplicator. Now let me close that and jump over. The next one is called Tagomations. So this one's found at tagomations.com. Again, we'll share links afterwards. This one probably needs a little bit more context. So let me start in a control panel. So there's a couple of pieces here. That Tagomations can do a lot of different things, but the impetus for building it and the main feature, what most of the users are using it for, is syncing people who are tagged with a certain thing to a certain list. And the main reason for doing that, or the original reason for doing that, there's lots of reasons, but the original reason for doing that was to facilitate using the groups functionality that's part of enterprise subscriptions. So this allows you to assign certain control panel users to certain lists so that they can only access those people. Very important for large campaigns and large organizations that divide their lists up into multiple groups. The problem, or like the missing feature of the groups functionality, is that lists are static and they don't get updated automatically based on new people being added to your nation or people's information changing. So you have to kind of manually maintain your lists, whereas tags and filters are dynamic. So, for example, I have a saved filter here for Alex. It's just first name equals Alex. So anytime someone joins my nation with the first name Alex, they're going to be they're going to match this filter criteria, and they're going to get tagged with Alex. Now I jump over to Tagomations, and we're looking at list membership tagomations. And what we have set up here is anyone tagged with Alex will be added to the list Alex. And this runs every few hours automatically. So this is going to keep your list Alex pretty much up to date. The filters run automatically nightly, but you can also manually run them. So that will keep your list Alex up to date. And if somebody changes their name or whatever, this is a weird example with the name, but if somebody stops meeting that filter criteria, they'll be removed from that list. So that list will always match just the people that meet that criteria. So I could try to do a quick real-time demo here. So, okay, so we have the list Alex, which has 97 people on it. We have the tag Alex, which has 97 people on it. Let me go to that. And I'm just going to remove that tag from a few people. In this example, it would automatically get re-added by the filter in a little bit. But for now, I'm just going to manually remove that tag. Jump over to Tagomations and click run. Again, you don't need to go in here and manually click run. It will run automatically every few hours, but this is just for demo purposes. Now I go back to NationBuilder. And now you see the list Alex has 93 people. The tag Alex has 93 people. So same thing if I go back here, add the tag Alex again. Runs. Give it another second. There we go, 94 people in the list, 94 people in the tag. So that's a quick example of how it works. I have organizations using this that have hundreds of lists, each with thousands of people, in some cases, tens or even 100,000 people. And that's all totally within the scale and scope of what this can handle. So yeah, it can handle very large organizations syncing lots of data. Some of the other features that I've kind of added on over the time I've been running this was kind of the initial feature and what this was originally built for. But there's some other features in NationBuilder that you could also start to automate with tags. For example, you could add social capital to people based on a tag. So if you wanted to, if someone attends a specific event, you could add a tag to the attendees of that event, add that capital, and as people check into that event, this will automatically run and add that capital to them. A new feature, again, that I've just added in the last little while is workflow automations. So you can now put people into an automation based on a tag. So similar thing, you could use the filters to automatically tag people that meet certain criteria, and this will start them through an automation. Same idea with point people. You can assign them or remove them from a point person. And you can also delete people based on a tag. Use at your own risk. This was built initially for some folks that were dealing with a lot of spam that were all coming from similar email addresses. So they would set up a filter that says, like, if email address contains this, then add the delete tag to them, and this will automatically delete them for you. So it was kind of a specific use case, but it is there. This is kind of an add-on feature that's not like a core part of Tagomations, but I've also built some functionality around exporting pages. So you can choose your page type and export them into a CSV. And then find duplicates just takes you to Deduplicator. So that's Tagomations. What else did I want to show? I think that's pretty much it. Are there any questions? Let me jump over to the Q&A. Okay, so the question was, I don't understand the use case. Could you speak more about it again? Why do you need groups in the first place? So groups is just one use case for this. But it was the original use case. But groups is basically allows you to assign, so certain control panel users can only view and only manage a specific list. So for example, if you are an organization with chapters or with volunteers or something like that, and you want to have, for example, maybe you have like a regional chapter and you only want people, you have a volunteer that manages or helps run that chapter, and you don't want them to have access to your entire database of people. You only want them to be able to manage the people that live in British Columbia, for example, where I'm located. So you could create a filter for people with the province British Columbia, which would tag them with British Columbia, for example, and then add them to a list called British Columbia. And then you could assign that group to those people. So then you can use, so then Tagomations would keep that list up to date, and your admins or volunteers for the British Columbia group would, their list would always be up to date with the most recent or the most relevant records. But people use group lists for all kinds of things. Groups aside, this isn't a tool that Tagomations itself isn't limited to enterprise. Tagomations is available to all nations of any level. So if you have some other use for groups, whether you use it just for email blasts or whatever you want to do, Tagomations could basically just syncs tags with lists. That's kind of the core of it. The question about pricing. So pricing is 2,000 Canadian per year. If you're a very small org, please get in touch. I'm happy to talk to very small grassroots organizations and can probably help out with that. And if you have any custom needs, we can also talk about that, and there's options for that. If you are an enterprise nation, also talk to your NationBuilder account manager, because often they can help out with this as well. So when you sign up, you get 30 days for free. So please feel free to sign up and reach out if you have any questions. If you want to get in touch with me, you can reach me at, what's the best way to share my, it's just me at alexf.ca. But if you go to any of my apps, you'll also see contact, get in touch links.
And I will also be sending out a roundup with, information to get in touch and a summary of the recordings. Thank you, Alex.
Thanks, everyone.
I'm gonna quickly take the screen back. Thanks everyone for coming. Some seriously powerful solutions here that actually 8 minutes is not really enough to do justice. We could have had an hour for each of these easily, but hopefully it gives you a taster of what can be done here. Obviously, yeah, we've had a good range of solutions from prompt, peer-to-peer texting, SoSha, MB Metrics, HandyNation, Tagomations, and Deduplicator. This time next week, we have some more solutions that we'll be looking at. So we'll share more about this in the email as well. I know that we're at the hour and I am reluctant to run over because I know everyone's time is precious. So thank you all for joining, and hope to see you all again, or some of you again at least, next week. Thanks a lot.